Welcome back, everybody. First up, we're going to talk about birthright citizenship. And think of the world as an amusement park, and every country is a ride. Now, obviously, America seems to be one of the best rides in the world, or in this case, in this amusement park. So it has the biggest line. But the question is it okay to cut? So that's what we basically be talking about.
And all y'all know, one way to get thrown out of park and another way to get into a fight at amusement park is to cut somebody in line. You know, some of these lines for the biggest roller coaster, you know, we in line, you go to Great Adventure or Magic Mountain, you in line, it says the wait from this point is 3 hours.
Right.
Like, it literally says that, and then you're content. You sit there and you wait, and you might send your girl to go get the funnel cake or some cotton candy so y'all could eat while you wait in the line. But nonetheless, you wait till your turn come, and God forbid you see somebody cut that line, and don't let anybody that work at the park see you cut the line, because you're out of there, buddy.
Big time.
You're out of there.
Now, I understand a lot of people have been operating off of just what they saw on TV or what they heard on the radio.
Of course.
But, you know, being the scholars that we strive to be, we had to actually go look at the actual executive order. So
yeah.
When we went in and looked at that, you know, specifically, it was protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. That was the title of the article. And what we saw was, again, it's not just what people are saying. And when I'm listening to a lot of the talks on the news or the radio, I'm hearing more so people's feelings about these orders than actually what the orders are actually saying. So that's why I was like, you know, I need to go read the order myself.
And that's what all of us need to do, because it seems very black and white to me. And I don't know, is it because that most of America or our people are like on the sixth grade, fourth grade reading level, and so they're intimidated to read something. But when you read these orders, it's black and white. It's clear as day.
Very clear.
And, you know, and you can see that, you know, someone that's online or TikTok ranting and raving, you could tell the difference between a person that read the actual order or the person that's just acting out of emotions. It's just crazy to me.
So, for example, one part of the order where it talks about the purpose, it says the privilege of the United States citizenship is priceless and profound. Like, that let me know that it means something to be an American. You know, it means something, and it's just not something that you just want to give out freely.
Yeah, it's priceless. And let's bring that up so they can see that, guys. The privilege of the United States citizenship is priceless and profound. Mind you, let's go back to that line in the amusement park.
Facts.
We're waiting 3 and 4 hours to get on this ride. It's around the corner. You know what I'm saying? And so, therefore, you want to take advantage, you want to get on this ride, you want to be there. You got just the new Superman, the new Batman, the new super duper roller, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You want to be on it. And that's how America is compared to these third world countries and these other countries that aren't as prosperous or, you know, forward thinking as we are.
So we see it's a priceless commodity. But then when we go down the policy, we saw that, again, it wasn't just about pretty much what what I saw on he's just trying to take citizenship away from people, and he's trying to deny immigration. No, from what I read, when it specifically start talking about the policy, it specifically states
when the person's mother.
Yeah, when the person's mother was a lawful U.S. citizen. I mean, when the person's mother wasn't unlawfully was here unlawfully, and the father wasn't wasn't here lawfully as well as a permanent resident. Those are the individuals that are going to be denying birthright citizenship too. So going back to the amusement park example again, if everyone's in line, someone just can't hop in line and say, well, this is my space.
And then so you get a lot of people, the emotions is coming from, you know, the children that had the birthright citizenship privilege. And so they're crying about their mothers and fathers, grandmothers, may be deported because they came here illegally. And once again, we keep overlooking the major word or the key component to that statement is illegally. So when you do something illegal, there's consequences.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how life is. And I'm not trying to be mean. I don't want, and I know your mother could have been a productive citizen, but when she made that decision and that choice, she not only put herself in danger and jeopardy, and she put you in jeopardy. And then the thing, my guy that's over the borders are now, I rocks with him because he said, look, we ain't trying to be the parent. We ain't doing, because they keep trying to get him the answer. So if someone is here illegally and the child is legal, are we deporting American citizens? They keep trying to make him to say, oh, we're deporting American citizens. He said, that's not up to us. We're not making that decision. The parent make the decision. And that child could stay with some other people that are citizens, or you could take the child with you.
Right.
It's up to you. Stop trying to make him say, what you want him to say so we can further perpetuate this whole scare tactic.
Right, and that's what all I'm really seeing from it. It's just a scare tactic for those who are choosing not to read the order themselves. So a lot of the confusion, I would say, it can be cleared up if people are just reading the order. So just read the orders.
And also, I want to add to that, the new press secretary, she about her business. She ain't playing with y'all. The reporter was like, so out of all of the deported people that got sent back, how many people had? She said, how many people were criminals, and how many of them had violent offenses or charges? And she said, Miss, they all criminals. When you break the law, that makes you a criminal in the United States. So stop trying to differentiate between people that had criminal charges or violent charges compared to other people that had.
They all criminals.
They all criminals.
All of them.
When you break the law, you're a criminal. And I just like, we gotta have some foundation. I think
some boundaries.
Some
borders.
You gotta have borders.
You gotta have borders, right?
You definitely do, because if not, there's always a what if that. We gotta have a foundation to kind of just draw from and just be like, hey, this is it. No more, no less. Here it is. So
one of the funnier examples I've heard described, well, not I guess funny examples, but just a good example of describing what this is it was the cow example, to where, again, if my cow, well, if my neighbor's cow breaks through my fence and gives birth to a calf, you're like, again, it's still not my cow, and it's still not my calf. So that was like one of one of the better ways of me hearing someone explain what the birthright citizenship problem was, and I would think that's if you're explaining it to someone like that. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to not understand.
It's not hard to understand. Just like if someone breaks in your house and they have a baby on your living room floor, does that baby now become a resident of that home, and you put the baby's name on the lease or the deed? Right. No, you go ahead and tell them to clean up that mess, because I'm sure they
want to make sure the baby is all right, though.
Yeah, make sure the baby fine. Get some hot water, get some blankets.
Right. Give it a little formula.
And you go ahead about your business, because another thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention, as a person that traveled all over the world, I've been to numerous countries. I'm on my way to another country in like 5 days, and one thing I've noticed, when you're going through customs and immigration and all that, they're very strict about you coming into their country. They want to know where you going, how long you gonna be there, why are you here, who you staying with. They need an address, and they're serious about that. And if you think you just gonna pull up in another country and stay, guess who's coming and knocking at your door?
It's not happening.
The military. They coming to like, excuse me, immigration police is coming, like your visa is over, your time here is done, like, or you didn't go get the visa, you just here as
they pulling up on you, basically.
They pulling up on you and sending you back to America. So why do we think that America, shouldn't operate the same way. Like the borders are for a reason, to protect your land, your territory, your space. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that, we can't go nowhere else and just pull up and be like, hey, I'm here, I'm have some babies, and now my babies are, part of this society. No, you have a baby in another country, you go ahead and they'll give you health care, and that's for sure. That they'll take care of you. But once you're together, you got to go back to America.
Got to go where you came from,
and your baby ain't
a citizen. Right. So just to play devil's advocate, though,
go ahead.
There'll be the individuals who will say, "But how can America feel this way about birthright citizenship when, in a sense, the country was founded with immigrants, or founded by immigrants, or the slaves?" Because I remember, the Trump, he came out and said the 14th Amendment, because that's another people's reasoning, is the 14th Amendment clearly states that anybody born in America, it becomes a citizen automatically. But again, that being the 14th Amendment, that was for, at the time, slaves. And I do think context is important when we are reviewing this Constitution, as well as these bills of rights and these amendments, because at that point in time, like, that was why that specific amendment was written. Most likely some other things as well, but for the ultimate reason, it was written to, quote unquote, give citizenship to those quote unquote slaves who were born in this country after being terrorized and brought, and being a prisoner of war and brought here. I can't even say they were brought here illegally. Again, they were prisoners of war in that regard. So you can't really say those individuals were immigrants, or they were, as the Florida textbooks are now calling them, indentured servants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They weren't that. You know what I'm saying? These are people who were brought here by force, not by choice. And again, then they were here, then they had their kids, and so that was the reasoning for why, one of the major reasonings for why they did it with the 14th Amendment. But again, when we fast forward to today, that's been I've been hearing that as people's reasoning as to why this action is illegal, and well as why the executive order for him to block birthright citizenship is illegal, and why the Supreme Court should keep it blocked.
Watch that word "should."
Oh, well, no, I was just saying, this is what they're saying.
I know.
You know what I mean? But to your point,
what we should do.
Yeah.
And like we said, like, if you read the 14th Amendment in context in which it was written, you will see that they're talking about, slaves and, giving them citizenship, after, slavery was abolished and all that happened. We had to have something like that to kind of solidify us as part of this land. It definitely wasn't talking about Julio, who crossed the border illegally and had a baby, and brought his homegirl, Maria, and she just happened to be pregnant, and they, shit out a baby in Texas, and now, that baby is American. That wasn't what they was talking about.
Or even for your more affluent individual from London, some of these developed foreign countries coming into America to have their child specifically, to gain the citizenship, to then just go back to their country of origin.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's one of the things I remember them speaking about as well. Like, that's what they're striving to prevent. Like, we don't want other individuals from foreign countries ultimately to be able to exploit our American citizenship, because remember, it's profound. It's a profound gift.
It's a
privileged. It's a privileged and profound gift.
Best country in the world, right?
That's what we say.
That's what we like to think, right? And and it's simple. If your parents are legal citizens, then the child that they have will be a legal citizen. You will not be a legal citizen if your parents are not of this land and came here illegally. Point blank, period.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and they are starting with, to be fair, they are starting with the violent offenders. They are starting with people that had criminal charges and, that are repeat offenders. They're not they're not just going right after, Maria, that been working down there making tacos for the past 15 years and contributing to society. And, so let's just take it easy, guys. Stop trying to always look for something to be riled about.
Mad about.
There's a lot of things that we should be riled about. As we move forward, we'll explore those things. But this birthright citizenship,
gotta get our shit button.
I think I'm gonna put a bucket or a bell, and every time one of us say "should," you could comment in the chat, right? Comment your name, and we'll put $1. And I'll get a bucket or something. Yeah, and every time we say "should,"
the should jar.
The should jar.
How they had the cursing jar.
Yeah. And then at the end of the month or something, we'll send that money to
somebody by donated.
Yeah.
Have a little contest or something. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I like that.
Yeah. But all right. We're moving right along.